G'day everyone. Most people would ask me how to make my salami, so I thought do a video, that way everyone sees how it's all done. A couple of things you're going to need: a pair of gloves. We have 10 kilo of pork mince. We're using 65% pork, the other 35% pork fat. We then have 700 grams of capsicum puree. Just gives it a bit of red colour and flavour. We also have our salt. So we use 2.7% of our 10 kilos of salt to cure. We're going to use for this one, we're going to use fennel and pepper. So the first thing we do, cut open our pork mince. Pop her in our tub. Goes on. Spread the mince. Make it all nice and even. Spread it around. You want to get a good covering of the salt all over the top of the mince. That way, ensuring when we do mix it, most of the salt has ran through. Just going to give it a nice even covering. Now, next step, fine cracked pepper. I don't actually use weights for this, just seeing it by eye for me. And same thing, it's just that it's an even dusting over the top of your mixture. If you can see that, just evenly through. Next step, this has been ordered with a little bit of fennel. So we have our fennel seeds. Just a little bit of fennel. I'll have a nice aroma through there with a little bit of a taste. Always season to your liking. You can use garlic flakes, you can use chili, you can use anything you like. Doesn't really matter. So our mild paste, open her up. February is usually the best time for your capsicum. Late Jan, when their capsicum are at their ripest. So do that. To get most of what's in the jar out, use a bit of pork, pop it in, mix it around. There you go. Then just spread it out for the top of the mix, as such. Like I said, guys, just giving it a nice even cover all over. That is what it should look like. And then your mixing begins. Not too much involved with the mixing, not too hard. Just popping it in my hands and pretty much squeezing, starting in one corner. And you want to make sure from top to bottom it is getting a thorough mix. It will take you approximately 10 to 15 minutes to do a a mix, you want to have a nice consistency, almost a sticky-like state where you do grab it and it doesn't fall apart. And you're really trying to just turn the salts all the way through your mix. Help with the curing process. What you will find as you are mixing as well, you'll have your pink pork, which is nice and fresh. Female pork is what you want to be using. Do find the best after a full moon. And really just mixing it up. So what you're trying to get, there's your difference. So where it has ran through, and here where it hasn't, where it's still pink. So you really want to make sure that capsicum puree is touching most parts and you are giving it a good mix up. Main reason why we do the mix the day before, guys, is so the flavours do have time to settle in amongst the mix. You do find some people will mix it up on the table, stuff it straight away. Our method is preferred to do it the night before, let it sit. So you can do this in stainless steel, be your best method. We're doing it today in a clear tub, just so you can see the process and how it's all happening from sides. Throughout the process of making your salami, you want to try to avoid having stuff like breadcrumbs around, bread pieces. Because any part of anything to avoid mould is ideal. So just turning it all over from top to bottom, just making sure we have got a thorough mix. Okay, it's just about there. So the more you work it, the more you combine it, the better it should be. For the sake of this video, I'm going to stop her just about here. So as you can see, nice and even. And the consistency that you want, I suppose ideally for us, is nice, tight and combined, sticky. So something like that where she's sticking to your hand, pretty much perfect. Then what we're going to do, we're going to smooth her back out, just keep her nice and flat. A little bit of an old wives' tale, I'm not too sure, but the way we've been taught, from this point onwards, you don't want to have any air in your casing, in your meat. So from here we flatten it right out, keep it nice, tight, compact and together. Beautiful. And that's what she'll look like. Come back to you when we begin to stuff our cases. Okay guys, we've let our pork mince sit in a tub overnight in a cool area. Today is day to make the salami. So you're gonna need a few things. A machine to pump out your sausages in. We've got a 7 kilo MH food processor. Pretty good. Never had any dramas with it, all stainless. Good in terms of the pressure you need to put on. There's a little release air valve on there as well, so as you're doing them, you're not getting any salamis. You're going to need your casings or your pork intestines, which will look like that. So we've soaked them in some water, turned them inside out. Now we're going to pop it on the machine. Good. Just like that. Try to feed your intestine on nice and easy. You're also going to need some butcher's twine to tie off, which is that, roughly 300 to 350 mil long. Just makes it easier when tying off. Nice knot in the end, so you're leaving a little bit of intestine on the end extra, so you make sure there's no holes. I like to flick that little dag over, tie a second knot, nice and tight, and then we want to have somewhere to hang the salami afterwards outside. So I've just made another little loop, closing it up, and that's where she'll hang from. Now you're ready to turn the handle. I want to apply a little bit of pressure, keeping the salami nice and firm. And there she comes, nice steady pace. A little bit more, Judy. A little bit more. That's it. Come here and hold it. Otherwise you have a nice big explosion and you have salami everywhere. Lift her up just a little bit. Lift her up a little bit. Jenny, lift her up a bit. That's it. Nice bit of string now. Let's cinch it off. We want to have a little bit of meat on the outer side. That way we know it's fully closed. I like to do a secondary knot.
No, I better go.
You better go? Okay. Tying it down. Creating another loop. Just a little bit of excess. Clean her up. And that's her.